Hello, and welcome to another show. I am going to briefly discuss who is Donald Trump, and I really don't know, but I made some observation. Somewhere along the way, he had an epiphany in his life, and if you compared this Donald Trump to the one in 1990, you're basically in 1990, his frequency and vibration was a 2 out of 10. It's pretty low. It's somebody exactly what he's doing. He's fighting it out with axes and fists in New York City, fighting the planning department, the state government, the federal government to build these buildings. He's involved. Construction is a really tough business to be in, and you got to be tough. And the way he expresses himself is a result of that business environment. It's not for somebody, almost everybody running against him. Really, they don't have that character fighter to do what he does or what he has done. And building these projects is pretty phenomenal, and especially in New York City. So if you go on a construction site and you hear the workers and the contractors and all the subcontractors talk, it's pretty brutal. It is not politically correct, and but those are the people who build things. They build the concrete and steel. It has its place in our culture. So it kind of reflects in his expression, how he expresses himself. And a lot of people recognize that, and a lot of Americans don't. Anyway. So how is he different? And he was a liberal Democrat, more or less, because as he said, well, you got to swim with the fishes. That's what New York City is. It's socially and professionally, everybody's a liberal Democrat, and you better be the same, or you're not going to get anything done. And that's who he was. And then all of a sudden, here you are, 2000. We are now 2016, and when you measure his frequency, it is now a 5. It might even be a 5.5. I have to double check. So he's equivalent to John F. Kennedy consciousness, which is half his policies for Trump actually benefit the people. Whereas Obama, half his policies, when you douse it, only 5% of his policy is for the people. Obama, 95% is for some kind of cabal, a group that is really, really dark and sees the people as the enemy. And Trump is at 5.5, where you get all the way up to 50% of his policies. Well, in our world, where we are today in this 3D timeline, that's about as good as it's going to get. Trump is no angel. He represents some business power, structure, interest behind him. You can't see it. But he would have been gone a long time ago if he was just Donald Trump running for president. He has backing, and it's invisible. Just as Clinton and others have their backing. Trump has very powerful backing. He's from New York City. These aren't Mickey Mouse people. And they see that they have to give the people something so they don't lose everything they have. And so Trump is basically a gatekeeper too, in a way. He's going to give you a lot. It's going to be genuine, but he's not going to give you everything. He's not going to give away the store. He's going to have policies that benefit the power structure that represent him. And he is protected. He is protected both physically by a mafia structure type, and he is protected by the spirit realm. And that's sort of like how it works. So he's a 5. So when did he have this epiphany? When did Obama actually change in his soul? This epiphany towards humanity and the American people and the country. It happened basically in 1997. And that's where the shift happens from 2 consciousness to 5 consciousness. And I would have to say one more thing. He is... I lost my train of thought. What happened? It's that sort of change in consciousness usually is a sign of a walk-in. And a walk-in is a metaphysical phrase. It's a concept, and there's dispute over it if it can be done. But there's a lot of people believe it can. And in this case, he looks like a walk-in, which is there's an agreement between the souls that at a particular time, the soul that has traveled this journey steps out of the body and another soul steps in. And it's perfectly all right because the two souls have agreed to this. And typically, it is a lower vibration soul allowing a higher vibration to come in because there's opportunity in the body of Trump, his genealogy, his family, and all his social connections, and his persona. There's an opportunity there for a higher frequency soul to come in and do good for humanity, to set up an environment where all souls can grow and be free. And this is what people are missing. This is why the liberals right now, don't let me think I'm getting a discussion of liberals and conservatives here. I'm not. The discussion is about frequencies, about policies, and about who these people are. But in general, the liberal thing has been taken over to this very close to Bolshevikism, which resulted in 60 million Russians being killed over a 40-year period. It's not a good system. It hates the individual. But for you to grow in this life, you need as much freedom as you can get to reach your potential, to make all the mistakes you can all by yourself. You don't need an outside force to make it for you. You get to express yourself, whether you're offending people or not, to what degree. Those are all great freedoms because then you can get the consequences of that expression. We can, what do you call it? You have those bull sessions. You have those sessions where you bounce ideas around. This is how cultures thrive and grow. And without that, anyway, the walk-in phenomenon, it goes back a ways, and you can look it up on the internet. And it happens quite often. And there's usually the new person, let's say Trump since 1998, is completely different, and people would recognize that this is a different guy than previously. Now the other thing is sometimes they have doubles and they switch them out. Who's they? That gets all complicated. For example, Putin is seen to be a double. He's resonating at a 5. This guy is for Russians in Russia, and that's what all this 2 vibration people like in the United States don't like. Okay, I thought I'd pass that on, and I think it's going to be very interesting how this gonna be resolved. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.